Hello, this is the third video in this series of what you need to do if you feel like your fat loss is stalling. And like I said in the previous two videos, the first one was working out your calorie deficit and using my calculator to work that all out. Number two was giving you an 8-week training program with all of the rep ranges so you know what you're doing and how to program effectively and how to train to failure. In this one, I'm going to get you to think a little bit long term, because with everything, if you have a deadline to work towards, it creates a bit of urgency. And when you have urgency, it means you're going to stick to something. If you don't have a deadline and you have no urgency, you're just going to be pissing in the wind. You're going to make excuses. You're going to go, oh, you know what? I'm going to skip this day. I'm not going to worry about it. So it's important that you have an end goal in mind because, like I said, it creates urgency. It gives you a start date, it gives you an end date, and it gives you something to work towards. For most people, this time of year, it's going to be a holiday coming up in summer. If you're watching this when I'm recording this in February half term, you've got about 12 to 15 weeks until June, which is then when people are going to be in their summer holiday mode. So you have to start thinking about how you're going to look then, now, because now is what counts, and you need to give yourself enough time to make some changes. My accelerator clients, they would have done 8 weeks by the end of March, and so they would have done their initial fat loss phase, and then from there we kind of go, do we want to go into another fat loss phase, or do we want to sit at maintenance and go for a shrink phase and tidy up just before summer? Everyone's going to be different, you're going to be different, but them first two videos, get them done first before you go into this. So in this video, I'm going to cover how to set yourself a goal and how to make sure that you are thinking longer term, and I'm going to show you how to do that. As always, make sure on the sheet you're clicking file and then make a copy. You won't be able to edit the original. So this is something I go through with my accelerator clients in around about week 4. I get them to start thinking about 3 months time from when they started, and 6 months, and then 12 months. For now, you're just going to look at 3 months. So whenever you're watching this, whenever you're starting this, you can click this button up here where it says March, and you can go click and it will pick whatever month you want. So February, March, April, May. So let's pick May for now. And it's important when you think of different goals, it's more than just, I want to lose 10 kilos. I want to lose this amount of centimeters. These are surface level things. So you need to think a little bit deeper. You need to think about how do you want to look? How do you want to feel? And then your thoughts, your feelings, your emotions behind how that is. So if you imagine that you say, I want to lose 10 kilos. Okay, why do you want to lose 10 kilos? Is it because you're lacking in energy at the moment? You struggle to get up and down the stairs? You find everything really heavy and hard work? You get out of breath easily? You feel really tired all the time? Like it's just a struggle getting out of bed? All of this sort of stuff. And it's like, okay, why? I want to feel more confident. I want to feel like I can see my body changing, which gives me more confidence, which means I can fit into my old clothes again. All of these things, you want to ask yourself, why? Ask yourself why several times. So you're going to need to spend a bit of time on this. It's not just a 5-minute thing. It's not just a, I want to fit into new jeans. Why do you want to fit into these new jeans? Is it because you haven't fit into them for a long period of time? Is it because they'll make you feel confident? They'll make you feel better about yourself? You want to wear them to a certain event? Like, people buy and people think and do things based on emotion or logic. So really you want to get like the emotional side of things. So here you've got, how do you want to look and feel? You know, and I've given you some examples down here of what I think and how much depth I want you to go into this. Thoughts, feelings and emotions for best case scenario. So something we want to work towards. What's the best case scenario? If you did everything that you wanted to do and if you got to exactly where you wanted to get to, what does that look like? How do you look? How do you feel? What are you thinking? And then the worst case scenario. So if you were to start a dieting phase or stop or go backwards, how would that make you feel? What would you be thinking of yourself? Like, what are your emotions there? And again, like down here, it might be, I want to be happier with what I see in the mirror, motivated that hard work I've put in has been rewarded so that I am more confident in myself, happier, more energized throughout each day, eating better foods. I'm not going to read this all out. You can do this yourself. And then perceived action steps. So 3 perceived action steps that you can do to work towards your best case scenario and away from your worst case scenario. So I need to make sure I keep up with good habits I've learned throughout the program. These are from my accelerator clients. Keep structure and training and nutrition because it works for 8 weeks, but then I need to make sure that I'm holding myself accountable if I'm not going into one-to-one after that. Or it might be, you know what, I've been held really accountable. I know I need the accountability. I enjoy it. I have the structure and I want to take my results to the next level. So then I go on to one-to-one coaching, and everyone that goes through Accelerator gets a little bit of a discount. So, you know, you don't want to then go backwards. So this is what you can do. If you want to then think of 6 months and 12 months, you can click on this and it'll open it all up for you. But I've hidden those for now just to get you thinking 3 months in advance. How do you want to look? How do you want to feel? Thoughts, feelings, emotions. What does that look like? What does that person in 3 months' time look like? How do they behave? What do they act like? What do they experience? How is life for that person? And you want to do all of them steps that are going to get you moving towards that. Whatever that person would be doing, however they would be acting, start acting like that now, and things will start to snowball, and you'll end up getting there. And remember, create a deadline, have a goal in mind, and you'll work with a bit of urgency as well. Any questions you've got, if you need any help, if coaching is something that you're after, let me know. We can go through assessment week and show you how I get things set up for my one-to-one clients. In the next one, I'll give you a rundown of how I would map out the first 4 weeks of my accelerator clients and give you access to the template for that as well. In a bit.